Well, as I told you when we were at the cottages of Santa Rosa Beach, we've now come over to visit our good friend Richard McNeese at McNeese Title and Law Firm. Hi, welcome back. Today we are visiting with our good friend Richard McNeese of McNeese Title and Law Firm. Richard, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Okay, well, I have been practicing law for almost, too long to admit, 39 years. 33 of them were in Tennessee, in Memphis and Nashville. I had a law firm and a title company there. My wife and I moved here 9 years ago and opened up McNeese Title. And if I want to practice law in Florida, I had to take the bar exam again after 30 years of practicing law, and that was quite challenging to say the least. But thank the Lord, I passed.
Well, great. We're glad you passed too.
Yeah, and our title company has been very fortunate, been very blessed. We got great people working for us, and I think it's made all the difference in where we are in the market.
Well, that's fabulous. I know that you've handled many closings for us. In fact, you've handled most of the closing at cottages of Santa Rosa Beach for us, and we always get treated really well here at McNeese Title.
Thank you for that opportunity, I really do.
So, Richard, tell us, because I know a lot of people just don't understand, what is the importance of having title insurance?
You know, I've been asked that question. I've been practicing real estate law now for 32 years and doing closings for 32 years. And I've been asked that question a number of times by people that they really don't say, oh, why do I need to have title insurance? Well, first of all, for most people, it is the single biggest purchase that they make in their lives.
Exactly.
The house is. And even though you don't think it's going to happen, and quite frankly, in the scheme of things, percentage-wise, it doesn't happen all that often, it is possible that you could lose the property altogether because of title defect. I'll give you an example of how one could happen. In Memphis, several years ago, I was conducting a closing, and the proverbial little old lady was the seller. And she was there with her daughter because the lady could not sign her name.
Okay.
And she signed with an X. And I'll never forget, the lady was sitting over there, her daughter was sitting right next to me, and the daughter says, just explain everything to me, I'll explain it to Mom, and then I'll get her to sign. And I said, okay, I'll do that. So as I was going through the paperwork and getting the paper signed, and I got to the deed, and I started watching what was going on between the daughter and Mom, I became a little bit concerned. And what I was concerned about is I wasn't sure that she knew what she was doing, but the mom didn't.
Oh.
And she was signing the deed, transferring some property to the buyers who were also seated at the table. And so I adjourned the closing. I told everybody, I said, I'm sorry, I got to do something. And I took the seller's agent and the daughter and the mom stayed in the closing room. And I said, does she know what's going on? Does she even know where she is? And they said, no. So, in that being the case, if she could have signed that deed, she could have signed an X and signed that deed, and that would have been legal as far as her signature is concerned. But that deed would have been absolutely worthless because she didn't know what she was doing. Now, I was able to stop that from happening, but here's what could have happened. I know this is a long explanation, but this will give you an example of what could happen. What could have happened was, before the closing, Mom could have quit claimed the property to the daughter. And the daughter would be sitting there. And I would not have known whether or not that quit claim deed from the mom to the daughter was any good. No way for me to know that. As long as it's notarized and witnessed, as far as I'm concerned, I can presume it's good. But that deed from the mom to the daughter would have been worthless, and so the deed from the daughter to the buyers at the closing would have been worthless. And it's possible that the person that was buying the property could have lost the property completely. That would be an example. Another example, if there had been a forgery on a deed. Somewhere in the chain of title, and this is from the time that God created earth. A lot of people say, well, gosh, the house is only 2 years old. Why do I need to get title insurance? It's just 2 years old. Well, because you're insuring title literally from the time that God created earth. And it goes back, many millenniums. Right. And so if there's a defect somewhere in that chain of title, then you want to make sure that you're protected. Another example would be if there were a corporation, a partnership, or trust where a particular person or entity was supposed to sign on behalf of that entity, and they never got authorization to do so, and we don't find out about that until later. There could have been a deed signed by a minor. There's so many ways that a person could lose the property. But again, percentage-wise, it doesn't happen very often. But if you are spending $50,000, $100,000, $2 million, $5 million, whatever it is for a piece of property, the last thing you want is for it to happen to you.
Right.
So that's what title insurance companies are there, and they're designed to do. They're there to protect your investment. If something like that were to happen, and you had a title insurance policy, all you have to do is put a claim into the title insurance company, and they would protect you for the amount of the insurance policy that you bought at the time of the closing.
And does the amount of the insurance policy usually equal the purchase price, or can it be different?
It needs to be. The title insurance company says, for example, they're not going to insure it for more, and they're not going to insure it for less. So
Okay.
yes, it has to be equal to whatever they're paying for.
All right, that's great.